Have you ever felt completely weighed down by what others think of you? Imagine this. You've just finished a big presentation at work, and instead of feeling proud of your effort, you're obsessed with wondering what your colleagues are saying behind your back. Does this sound familiar? It's a common struggle, but what if I told you that your reaction to others' opinions could be the root of your stress and unhappiness? Here's a question. How much of your day is spent worrying about what others think of you? Think about it. Do you find yourself adjusting your behavior, clothing, or even your opinions just to fit in or gain approval? Why does the judgment of others hold so much power over your self-worth? Let's take a simple example. Imagine you've created a piece of artwork that you're genuinely proud of. When you show it to your friends, instead of receiving positive feedback, you get a mix of indifferent reactions and critical comments. Now, you start to doubt your talent and feel disheartened. But what if your happiness and self-worth were not tied to the approval of others? Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we explore profound insights to transform your life. In this video, we'll dive into how giving power to others' opinions can affect your mental and emotional well-being. You'll discover practical ways to reclaim your personal power and build inner strength by understanding the Buddhist principles of self-awareness and non-attachment. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content to enrich your journey towards personal growth and inner peace. Let's start by understanding how we often give away our power to others. Every day, we encounter situations where the opinions of friends, family, or even strangers influence how we feel about ourselves. This constant need for external validation can leave us feeling drained and dependent on others for our self-esteem. In Buddhism, there's a concept called non-attachment, which teaches us to let go of our dependency on external factors for our happiness. By learning to detach from others' opinions, we can start to focus more on our own values and inner peace. This shift in perspective can significantly enhance our emotional resilience and overall well-being. The first step towards reclaiming your power is recognizing how often and how easily you let others' opinions affect you. Notice when you start to feel anxious or unhappy due to someone else's judgment. Acknowledge these moments and remind yourself that your worth is not determined by others. As we delve deeper into this topic, you'll learn practical strategies for building self-reliance and maintaining your inner strength despite external pressures. Our journey will explore Buddhist teachings and mindfulness practices that will help you stay centered and confident, regardless of outside opinions. Stay tuned as we continue to uncover the ways you can take back control and find peace within yourself. Remember, the power to change your perspective and reclaim your self-worth is within you. In the next part, we'll discuss how to establish personal boundaries and the Buddhist perspective on maintaining your sense of self amid external influences. Don't miss out on these transformative insights. Lesson 1. Understanding personal boundaries. The Buddhist perspective. In a world full of noise and opinions, it's easy to lose sight of ourselves. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by what others think of you? Do their judgments often shake your confidence? What if there was a way to build a shield around yourself, protecting your inner peace from external forces? Today, we'll explore how understanding and setting personal boundaries can lead to a more serene and fulfilling life. Imagine a pond. When the water is still, it reflects everything clearly. But when someone throws a stone, the water ripples, distorting the reflection. Similarly, when our minds are clear and undisturbed, we see ourselves and our path clearly. But when we let others' opinions or judgments disturb us, it's like throwing stones into that calm pond. The reflections become muddied, and we lose sight of who we are. In Buddhism, there's a concept known as upadana, which refers to clinging or attachment. When we cling to others' approval or fear their disapproval, we are allowing our peace to be disturbed. Understanding this can help us recognize that our happiness does not need to depend on others' perceptions. We can learn to protect our inner calm by setting clear personal boundaries. Personal boundaries are like invisible lines we draw around ourselves. They define where we end and where others begin. These boundaries help us maintain our sense of self and ensure that we don't lose ourselves in the opinions or behaviors of others. In Buddhist practice, this concept aligns with the idea of right effort, where we strive to cultivate the right conditions for our well-being. When setting boundaries, it's important to be mindful of how we communicate them. It's not about building walls, but rather about creating a healthy space where we can thrive without being overshadowed by others. In Buddhism, this is akin to practicing right speech, where our communication is kind, clear, and truthful, but also respects our own needs and limits. Consider the story of a Zen monk who lived in a small village. He was known for his wisdom and calm demeanor. One day, a troubled villager came to him, seeking advice on how to deal with a critical neighbor. The monk listened patiently and then said, "Imagine you are a tree with deep roots. The winds may blow, and the branches may sway, but your roots keep you steady. Let your boundaries be like those roots, holding you firm while allowing the branches to move." Setting boundaries is not about shutting others out. It's about ensuring that your space remains your own. In Buddhism, this practice is about maintaining equanimity, a balanced mental state that is not easily disturbed by external influences. By understanding and applying personal boundaries, you can keep your mind peaceful and focused on what truly matters to you. Reflect on this. When you're aware of your own boundaries, you protect your energy and emotions from being controlled by others. This self-awareness allows you to engage with others without losing your sense of self. It's about being mindful of your own needs and values while interacting with the world. To establish personal boundaries, start by identifying areas where you feel your peace is compromised. Is it when people criticize you? Or when they demand more of your time and energy than you're willing to give? Once you recognize these areas, you can set clear limits in a respectful manner, ensuring that you're not overstepping others' boundaries while maintaining your own. Remember, setting boundaries is an ongoing practice. It requires regular reflection and adjustment as you grow and change. Buddhism teaches us to be adaptable and aware of our own needs, and personal boundaries are a reflection of this mindfulness in our daily interactions. By understanding and respecting personal boundaries, you create a space where you can thrive, free from the undue influence of others. This practice aligns with the Buddhist principle of right mindfulness, where you remain aware of your own thoughts, feelings, and actions, ensuring they align with your true self. In conclusion, understanding and setting personal boundaries is a crucial step toward maintaining your inner peace and well-being. It allows you to navigate relationships and interactions with a clear sense of self, free from the turbulence of external judgments. As you practice this, you'll find yourself more grounded and at peace, even in a world full of noise. Lesson 2. The power of self-awareness. Taking charge of your mind. Imagine your mind is like a vast, calm ocean. On a clear day, you can see right through the water, and everything is peaceful. But when the storm hits, when worries, fears, and other people's opinions splash into your life, the water gets choppy, and it's hard to see the bottom. This is what happens when we give away our power to others. We let the stormy waves take control, leaving us feeling tossed around and lost. But what if we could calm those waves? What if we could turn that stormy ocean back into a clear, serene sea? This is where the practice of self-awareness comes in. By understanding how we think and react, we can take charge of our minds and reclaim our inner peace. So, what exactly is self-awareness? Self-awareness is like having a map of your own mind. It's the ability to see and understand your thoughts, feelings, and reactions. Just as a map helps you find your way on a journey, self-awareness helps you navigate your inner landscape. It allows you to recognize when you're being influenced by others and helps you stay centered amidst life's chaos. How does self-awareness help us? When we are self-aware, we begin to notice how our mind works. We see how certain situations or people trigger specific emotions or thoughts. For instance, imagine a friend criticizes your work. Without self-awareness, you might react with anger or self-doubt, letting their opinion shake your confidence. But with self-awareness, you can step back and observe your reaction. You can understand why you feel hurt and choose how to respond instead of reacting impulsively. Think of self-awareness as a powerful tool. Just like a skilled gardener uses tools to tend their garden, self-awareness helps us tend to our mental and emotional well-being. By regularly checking in with ourselves, we can identify and address negative patterns before they grow out of control. For example, if you notice that criticism from others makes you feel insecure, you can work on building your self-esteem and resilience, reducing the impact of those external opinions. So, how do we develop self-awareness? Start by taking a few moments each day to reflect on your thoughts and feelings. This could be through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting quietly and observing your mind. Ask yourself questions like, why did I react that way? Or, what am I feeling right now? This practice helps you become more attuned to your inner world, giving you greater control over how you respond to external influences. It's also helpful to observe your reactions in real time. When you find yourself reacting strongly to something someone says or does, pause and take a deep breath. Notice what's happening in your mind and body. Are you feeling tense? Are you judging yourself or others? By observing these reactions without judgment, you gain insight into your own thought patterns and can make more conscious choices about how to respond. Why is this important in the context of not giving power to others? Self-awareness allows you to recognize when you are giving away your power. For example, if someone's opinion causes you to feel anxious or upset, self-awareness helps you see that you're letting their words control your emotions. By understanding this, you can take back your power and choose not to let their opinion dictate your feelings or actions. Consider this simple practice. Whenever you feel overwhelmed by someone else's opinion or criticism, remind yourself that you have the power to choose your response. Take a moment to reflect on your feelings and decide how you want to react. This practice helps you stay grounded and maintain control over your own mind, rather than letting others influence your emotional state. Self-awareness is not a one-time practice, but a continuous journey. It requires regular attention and effort. Just as you wouldn't neglect a garden, don't neglect your self-awareness practice. Over time, it becomes easier to recognize when you're giving away your power and to reclaim it. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes to stay centered and calm, regardless of external circumstances. Embrace self-awareness as a gift. It's a powerful tool that helps you take charge of your own mind and emotions. By understanding yourself better, you can navigate life's challenges with greater ease and maintain your inner peace. Remember, the stormy waves of life don't have to control you. With self-awareness, you can calm the waters and find serenity amidst the chaos. In conclusion, taking charge of your mind through self-awareness is like learning to steer a ship through turbulent seas. You become the captain of your own vessel, navigating through life with clarity and purpose. By regularly practicing self-awareness, you reclaim your power and maintain your inner calm, no matter how stormy the waters may become. So, set your course with confidence and sail through life with a clear and steady mind. Lesson 3. Embracing Non-Attachment. Buddhism's Guide to Emotional Independence. Imagine a tree standing tall in a storm. Its branches may sway and bend, but the tree itself remains rooted. In life, we often face storms of emotional upheaval, and like that tree, our goal is to remain steady and grounded. This is where the Buddhist concept of non-attachment becomes our guiding force. Non-attachment is not about disconnecting from the world or becoming indifferent. Instead, it's about not letting external circumstances and people dictate our inner peace. It's like holding a cup of hot tea. You enjoy it, but you don't let it burn you. This simple practice can help us stay calm and centered no matter what happens around us. When we talk about non-attachment, we mean letting go of the strong emotional grip we have on things, people, or outcomes. It's like holding a rope tightly and then learning to let it go gently. This doesn't mean we stop caring. Rather, we learn to care without being controlled by our desires or fears. Buddhism teaches us that much of our suffering comes from our attachment to things we cannot control. We might cling to our expectations, our relationships, or our possessions, hoping they will bring us lasting happiness. But when these things inevitably change, we experience distress. By practicing non-attachment, we free ourselves from this cycle of dependency. Think about a time when you were upset because someone didn't meet your expectations. Perhaps a friend forgot your birthday or a project didn't turn out as planned. If you were deeply attached to these outcomes, the disappointment would hit hard. But if you practice non-attachment, you can accept things as they are, making it easier to find peace and move forward. Non-attachment allows us to engage with life fully without being controlled by our desires or aversions. It's about finding balance and understanding that while we can enjoy the good things in life, we don't need to hold on to them tightly. This balance is crucial for emotional independence and inner freedom. To practice non-attachment, start by observing your reactions to everyday situations. Notice when you become upset or distressed because things aren't going as planned. Acknowledge these feelings without judgment and remind yourself that you have the power to choose how you respond. By doing so, you can cultivate a sense of detachment that protects your inner peace. Non-attachment doesn't mean you become passive or disengaged. Instead, it empowers you to act with wisdom and clarity. For instance, if you're working on a project and it doesn't go as expected, you can still put in your best effort while understanding that the outcome is not entirely within your control. This approach reduces stress and enhances your ability to stay calm in challenging situations. In Buddhist practice, meditation is a powerful tool for developing non-attachment. Through mindfulness and meditation, you can observe your thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. This practice helps you realize that your true self is separate from your transient feelings and desires, fostering a sense of inner peace and stability. A key aspect of non-attachment is learning to let go of grudges and past hurts. Holding on to anger or resentment can weigh heavily on our hearts and minds. By practicing forgiveness and letting go of these negative emotions, we free ourselves from their influence and open the door to emotional independence. Non-attachment also means accepting the impermanence of life. Everything is in constant flux, and trying to hold on to things or people is a futile struggle. By embracing this impermanence, we can appreciate the present moment without being overly attached to future outcomes or past experiences. As you move forward on your journey towards emotional independence, remember that non-attachment is a practice, not a perfect state. It requires patience, self-awareness, and compassion. Be gentle with yourself as you learn to let go and embrace the flow of life with a balanced and open heart. By integrating non-attachment into your daily life, you will find that you can navigate the ups and downs of existence with greater ease and equanimity. You'll be better equipped to handle challenges, respond to situations with clarity, and maintain a sense of inner peace, regardless of external circumstances. In summary, non-attachment is a powerful practice in Buddhism that teaches us to let go of our emotional grips on things, people, and outcomes. It empowers us to engage with life fully while maintaining our inner stability. By embracing non-attachment, we can cultivate emotional independence, find greater peace, and live a more balanced and fulfilling life. Lesson 4. Embracing Non-Attachment. Buddhism's Guide to Emotional Independence. In our busy lives, we often find ourselves tangled in the opinions and actions of others. We seek approval, crave validation, and sometimes let others' judgments control how we feel about ourselves. But what if we could find a way to break free from this cycle? What if we could learn to be emotionally independent? This is where the Buddhist concept of non-attachment comes in. Imagine you're at a party, and someone makes a hurtful comment about you. If you're attached to their opinion, it feels like a blow to your self-worth. But if you practice non-attachment, you can observe their comment without letting it affect your inner peace. This doesn't mean you ignore what happens around you. Instead, it means you don't let external events control your emotions. Non-attachment in Buddhism isn't about not caring or being indifferent. It's about recognizing that our happiness and self-worth should not depend on others. When you understand that you are complete in yourself, the opinions of others lose their power over you. This can be incredibly freeing, allowing you to live with greater joy and inner stability. The Buddha taught that attachment is a source of suffering. When we cling to people, possessions, or outcomes, we set ourselves up for disappointment. For instance, if you're deeply attached to a particular outcome at work, not achieving it can lead to frustration and distress. But if you practice non-attachment, you can do your best without being overly concerned about the result. This approach helps you stay balanced, regardless of external circumstances. Non-attachment also involves letting go of past grievances. Holding on to anger or resentment only harms us. By practicing forgiveness and releasing these attachments, we can heal and move forward with a lighter heart. This doesn't mean forgetting or excusing wrongdoing. It means freeing yourself from the negative impact those feelings have on your life. So, how can you cultivate non-attachment in your daily life? Start by becoming more aware of your reactions. Notice when you feel overly dependent on others' opinions or when past hurts resurface. Practice mindfulness to observe these emotions without judgment. Over time, you'll find that your emotional responses become more balanced and less influenced by external factors. One practical way to practice non-attachment is through meditation. Meditation helps you develop a sense of inner calm and detachment from fleeting thoughts and emotions. It trains your mind to observe rather than react, fostering a deeper understanding of your own mental processes. As you meditate regularly, you'll find it easier to remain centered, even when faced with challenging situations. Another technique is to set healthy boundaries. It's important to protect your emotional well-being by defining what is acceptable in your relationships and interactions. By clearly communicating your boundaries and respecting others' boundaries, you create a space where you can maintain your inner peace while engaging with the world. Remember, practicing non-attachment is a journey, not a destination. It requires patience and continuous effort. But with each step you take, you'll move closer to a state of emotional independence where you're not swayed by the opinions and actions of others. This inner strength is a powerful foundation for a more peaceful and fulfilling life. In summary, embracing non-attachment means understanding that your happiness does not depend on external validation or circumstances. By cultivating this mindset, you can experience greater emotional freedom and resilience. This Buddhist practice helps you build a stable inner life, unaffected by the ups and downs of the external world. Lesson 5. The Role of Mindfulness. Observing without reacting. Imagine you're watching a river flow gently. You see the water moving, the leaves drifting, and the occasional fish darting about. You're not trying to change the water or make it go faster. You're just observing. This is what mindfulness is all about. Being aware of your thoughts and feelings without trying to control or react to them. Mindfulness, a key practice in Buddhism, teaches us to observe our inner world with the same ease as watching that river. It's about becoming an impartial witness to our thoughts and emotions. When we're mindful, we're not swept away by every wave of anger, sadness, or joy. Instead, we notice these feelings as they come and go, like watching leaves float on a stream. Think about a time when someone said something hurtful to you. Your immediate reaction might have been anger or defensiveness. But what if, in that moment, you could step back and simply observe your reaction without getting caught up in it? Mindfulness helps us create that space. It allows us to pause and see our reactions clearly, which can help us choose a more measured response. In Buddhism, mindfulness is often practiced through meditation. During meditation, you sit quietly and focus on your breath. When your mind wanders, you gently bring your attention back to your breath. This practice trains your mind to stay present and to observe your thoughts without judgment. Over time, this skill translates into everyday life, helping you respond more thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Consider a moment of stress, like a difficult conversation at work. If you're not mindful, you might react with frustration or impatience. But if you practice mindfulness, you can observe your feelings of stress and choose a calm and constructive way to handle the situation. This doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. It means acknowledging them without letting them dictate your actions. Mindfulness also helps us understand that our thoughts and feelings are temporary. Just as the river keeps flowing, our emotions are always in motion. By observing them without attachment, we learn that they don't have to control us. They come and go, and we have the power to choose how we respond. In daily life, practicing mindfulness can be as simple as paying attention to the present moment. When you're eating, focus on the taste and texture of your food. When you're walking, notice the feeling of your feet touching the ground. These small practices build your ability to stay present and to respond more mindfully in challenging situations. When you encounter negative experiences, mindfulness allows you to view them with clarity. Instead of reacting with immediate judgment or emotion, you can take a step back, observe the situation, and respond in a way that aligns with your values. This approach can transform how you interact with others and handle stress. Remember, mindfulness is a skill that takes practice. It's not about achieving perfection, but about becoming more aware of your inner life. Each moment of mindfulness is a step toward greater self-understanding and control. Over time, this practice helps you maintain inner peace and resilience, even when life gets challenging. By integrating mindfulness into your daily routine, you build a foundation for a more balanced and centered life. You learn to respond to life's ups and downs with equanimity, creating a sense of calm and stability within yourself. This practice empowers you to navigate life with greater awareness and less reactivity. So, take a moment today to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Notice how this practice can shift your perspective and enhance your ability to respond with intention. Embrace mindfulness as a tool for greater self-awareness and emotional balance, and watch how it transforms your interactions and experiences. Through the lens of mindfulness, you begin to see the beauty in the flow of life, understanding that you don't need to control every aspect to find peace and contentment. Instead, by simply observing and responding with awareness, you align with a natural rhythm of existence, finding harmony and strength within yourself. As you continue to practice mindfulness, you'll find that your reactions become more measured and your responses more thoughtful. This newfound clarity and calmness can profoundly impact your relationships and overall well-being, helping you to live more fully and authentically. Remember, mindfulness is not about changing who you are, but about uncovering your true self. By observing your thoughts and emotions with kindness and curiosity, you connect more deeply with your inner wisdom and strength. Let mindfulness guide you toward a more serene and balanced life, where you navigate challenges with grace and clarity. Lesson 6. Recognizing the power of choice. Buddhism and decision-making. In every moment of our lives, we face choices. Whether it's deciding what to eat, how to react to someone, or which path to take, our choices shape our reality. But do we always recognize the power behind these choices? In this part, we'll explore how Buddhism teaches us to see our decisions with clarity and intention. Imagine you're at a crossroads, standing before two paths. One path leads to a familiar place, while the other is unknown. The choice seems daunting, but it's also full of potential. In the hustle of daily life, we often overlook how significant our choices are. Buddhism reminds us that every choice we make, big or small, is a reflection of our inner state. When we are mindful of our choices, we align ourselves more closely with our true self. At the heart of Buddhism is the principle that we are the architects of our own happiness. This means recognizing that our choices are not just about external outcomes, but also about our internal state of being. When we understand that our choices stem from our mind's condition, we can start to make decisions that truly reflect who we are and who we want to become. How do we become aware of this power? It begins with mindfulness, a practice of paying full attention to our present moment. By staying mindful, we can observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. This awareness helps us see how our decisions are influenced by our emotions and beliefs. For example, if we react angrily to someone, it's often because we've let negative feelings cloud our judgment. Mindfulness helps us step back and choose a more thoughtful response. Buddhism also teaches us about the concept of karma, which is the idea that our actions have consequences. Every choice we make creates a ripple effect in our lives and the lives of others. By understanding karma, we can make more deliberate choices that lead to positive outcomes. When we act with intention and kindness, we cultivate good karma, which in turn helps us live a more harmonious life. Consider the simple act of choosing how to speak to a friend. If we choose words that are kind and supportive, we build a stronger, more positive relationship. If we choose words that are harsh or critical, we may create conflict and distance. Buddhism encourages us to make choices that reflect compassion and understanding, not just in our relationships but in all aspects of our lives. Recognizing the power of choice also involves understanding the concept of non-attachment. This means not being overly attached to the outcomes of our decisions. In Buddhism, we learn to let go of our attachments and expectations, which allows us to make choices with a clear and open mind. By not clinging to specific results, we can navigate life's challenges with greater ease and resilience. When we are attached to a particular outcome, we might make decisions out of fear or desire rather than wisdom. Non-attachment helps us approach each choice with a sense of freedom and openness. We act not from a place of clinging but from a place of clarity and balance. In everyday life, this principle can be applied in many ways. For instance, if you're considering a new job opportunity, instead of focusing solely on the potential salary or status, consider how this choice aligns with your values and long-term goals. This approach helps you make decisions that support your overall well-being rather than just immediate gratification. Buddhism also teaches us the importance of self-reflection. Regularly taking time to reflect on our decisions helps us understand our motivations and patterns. By examining our choices, we can learn from our experiences and grow. Self-reflection allows us to see where we might be repeating mistakes or where we could make more mindful choices in the future. Lastly, it's important to remember that making choices is not about being perfect but about being conscious. We all make mistakes, and that's part of the human experience. Buddhism teaches us to approach our choices with a sense of curiosity and compassion, both for ourselves and others. Every choice is an opportunity to learn and evolve. As we conclude this part, remember that the power of choice is a gift. By recognizing this power and approaching our decisions with mindfulness and intention, we can navigate our lives with greater wisdom and authenticity. Embrace each choice as an opportunity to align with your true self and create a life that reflects your deepest values and aspirations. Lesson 7. Cultivating Inner Strength. How to build self-reliance. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a vast, tranquil lake. The water is calm, reflecting the serene sky above. When the wind blows, tiny ripples form on the surface, but they quickly fade, leaving the lake as peaceful as before. In a way, this lake represents our inner strength and self-reliance. Just as the lake remains calm despite the wind, we too can build a sense of inner strength that remains steady, no matter what happens around us. Think about a time when you felt deeply influenced by someone else's opinions or actions. Perhaps a friend's criticism or a colleague's harsh words left you feeling shaken and uncertain. It's easy to let others' words and actions disturb our peace of mind. But what if we could find a way to stay grounded, like the calm lake, regardless of external disturbances? This is the essence of cultivating inner strength and self-reliance. In Buddhism, there's a concept called inner fortress, a metaphor for the strength and resilience we build within ourselves. Just as a fortress stands firm against outside forces, our inner strength helps us remain steady and resilient in the face of life's challenges. Cultivating this inner strength involves developing a deeper understanding of ourselves and our responses to external situations. One way to build this inner strength is by practicing self-awareness. This means paying close attention to our thoughts, feelings, and reactions without judgment. Imagine you're observing a cloud passing through the sky. Just as you watch the cloud without trying to change its course, you can observe your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. This practice helps us understand our responses and gradually gain control over them. Another key aspect is self-compassion. Instead of criticizing yourself for being affected by others, treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Imagine you're comforting a friend who's upset. You'd listen with empathy and offer gentle words of support. Apply this same approach to yourself. Acknowledge your feelings, but also remind yourself that you have the strength to handle them. Buddhism also teaches us about the nature of change. Everything around us is constantly changing, just like the ripples on the lake. By accepting that change is a natural part of life, we can better navigate through it without letting it disrupt our inner peace. When we understand that we can't control everything, we become more resilient and adaptable. Building inner strength also involves setting healthy boundaries. This doesn't mean shutting others out, but rather, it's about understanding what you're willing to accept and what you're not. It's like drawing a clear line in the sand that others can't cross. When you set boundaries, you protect your well-being and maintain your sense of self. Meditation is another powerful tool for cultivating inner strength. Through meditation, we train our minds to focus and remain calm. Imagine sitting quietly, observing your breath, and letting go of distracting thoughts. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to remain centered and grounded, even in challenging situations. In addition, embracing the concept of non-attachment can help. This doesn't mean you should stop caring about things or people, but rather, it's about not being overly dependent on them for your happiness. When you practice non-attachment, you learn to find joy and contentment within yourself rather than relying on external sources. Building inner strength also requires patience and persistence. Just like physical muscles need regular exercise to grow, your inner strength needs consistent practice. Set aside time each day to reflect on your progress, acknowledge your achievements, and continue to work on your self-awareness and resilience. Finally, remember that cultivating inner strength is a journey, not a destination. Each day presents new opportunities to strengthen yourself and grow. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and continue to nurture your inner strength with mindfulness and self-compassion. As we move through life, challenges and changes are inevitable. By building our inner strength and self-reliance, we equip ourselves to handle these challenges with grace and resilience. Just as the calm lake reflects the sky without being disturbed by the wind, we too can maintain our inner peace and strength amidst life's external fluctuations. Lesson 8. Dealing with criticism. Buddhist techniques for emotional resilience. Imagine walking through a bustling market. People are talking loudly, some are laughing, others are criticizing. If you let every comment affect you, you'd feel overwhelmed and distracted. Now think of your mind as that market. Every day, it's filled with noise, comments, judgments, and criticisms from others. But just as you can choose how you react to the market's chaos, you can also choose how you respond to criticism. Criticism is like a mirror reflecting not only how others see you but also how you see yourself. In Buddhism, this reflection is an opportunity for growth. The Buddha taught that how we respond to criticism can either lead us to suffering or to inner peace. Let's explore how to handle criticism with grace and resilience, using Buddhist wisdom. First, let's understand what criticism really is. Criticism often feels like a personal attack. Can sting, making us question our worth. But in Buddhism, we learn that criticism is not about us. It's a reflection of the critic's own thoughts and feelings. The Buddha compared this to a thorn. When someone criticizes us, it's like being pricked by a thorn. The thorn itself is not the problem. It's how we respond to it that matters. To deal with criticism, the first Buddhist technique is mindful awareness. Mindfulness means being fully present in the moment. When someone criticizes you, take a deep breath and observe your reaction. Are you angry? Defensive? By noticing these emotions without judging them, you can start to separate yourself from the criticism. You become less reactive and more thoughtful about how to respond. Next, non-attachment is crucial. In Buddhism, non-attachment means not clinging to things, whether they are positive or negative. When you receive praise, don't cling to it as if it defines you. Similarly, don't hold on to criticism as a personal failure. By practicing non-attachment, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of others' opinions. Another technique is compassion. Compassion towards others and yourself is a core principle in Buddhism. When someone criticizes you, try to understand where they're coming from. Maybe they are having a tough day or are struggling with their own issues. By viewing criticism through the lens of compassion, you can reduce its sting and see it as an opportunity for understanding rather than conflict. Equanimity is also important. Equanimity means maintaining mental calmness and composure, even in challenging situations. The Buddha taught that developing equanimity helps us remain steady regardless of external circumstances. When faced with criticism, practice staying balanced and calm. Remind yourself that criticism does not determine your worth. Finally, self-reflection is a powerful tool. Instead of reacting impulsively to criticism, take time to reflect on it. Ask yourself if there is any truth to what was said and what you can learn from it. This doesn't mean you have to accept every criticism as valid, but self-reflection allows you to grow and improve without being overwhelmed by negative emotions. In Buddhism, we are encouraged to cultivate a strong inner foundation. By using mindfulness, non-attachment, compassion, equanimity, and self-reflection, you can transform criticism into a tool for personal growth. This approach helps you maintain emotional resilience, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. Remember, criticism is not the enemy. It's an opportunity to practice these Buddhist techniques and build a stronger, more resilient self. As you develop these skills, you'll find that criticism affects you less and less, leaving you more at peace and centered in your own being. Lesson 9. The impact of forgiveness. Freeing yourself from others' control. Imagine you're carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents a grudge, a hurtful word, or an injustice you've experienced. Over time, this backpack becomes unbearable. Forgiveness is like taking off that heavy backpack and feeling the weight lift from your shoulders. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It's about freeing yourself from the control those painful experiences have over you. In Buddhism, forgiveness is a powerful tool for letting go of the past and finding inner peace. When we hold on to anger or resentment, it's like giving someone else the power to control our emotions. Every time we think about the hurtful event, it's as if we're handing over the reins to our happiness. By forgiving, we take back that power and choose to focus on our own well-being. Think of forgiveness as a gift you give to yourself, not the other person. It's a way to reclaim your own happiness and peace. The person who hurt you might never change, but you can change how their actions affect you. Forgiveness helps you heal and move forward, rather than being stuck in the past. Buddhism teaches us that holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. It's self-destructive and only harms us in the end. By choosing to forgive, we release ourselves from this self-imposed suffering and open the door to healing and joy. Forgiveness also helps us see things more clearly. When we're consumed by anger or resentment, our judgment can be clouded. By letting go, we can view situations with more compassion and understanding. This doesn't mean we condone bad behavior, but we choose to rise above it and maintain our inner peace. In practical terms, forgiveness starts with acknowledging your feelings. It's okay to feel hurt, angry, or betrayed. By recognizing these emotions without judgment, you create space for healing. Next, practice empathy by trying to understand the other person's perspective. Often, their actions may stem from their own pain or struggles. Meditation can be a helpful tool in this process. Try sitting quietly and focusing on your breath. Visualize the person who hurt you, and instead of focusing on the anger, imagine sending them feelings of compassion and understanding. This doesn't mean you have to forget or condone their actions, but it helps to soften the emotional charge and release the hold they have on you. Forgiveness is also about self-compassion. Sometimes, we hold on to grudges because we feel we don't deserve to be free from pain. Remind yourself that you are worthy of peace and happiness. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend. Remember, forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. It may take time and effort, and that's okay. Each step you take toward letting go is a step toward reclaiming your power and peace. Be patient with yourself and acknowledge your progress along the way. As you practice forgiveness, you'll find that it not only releases you from the burden of past hurts, but also opens your heart to new possibilities. You create space for joy, love, and deeper connections. It's a way of honoring your own well-being and choosing to live a life not controlled by past wounds. In summary, forgiveness is a profound practice that helps you reclaim your power and peace. It's about letting go of the control that past hurts have over you and choosing to live with compassion and understanding. By embracing forgiveness, you free yourself from emotional burdens and open your heart to a brighter, more joyful future. Lesson 10. Creating a balanced perspective. Aligning with your true self. In the quiet moments of our lives, we often find ourselves caught between the expectations of others and the whispers of our own heart. Imagine a pond, its surface calm and reflective. When we throw a stone, ripples spread out, distorting the image of the sky above. Similarly, our inner balance is disrupted by external influences. In Buddhism, Achieving a balanced perspective is like restoring that still pond. It's about aligning ourselves with our true nature, unaffected by the disturbances of the outside world. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by what others think of you? It's a common experience. We live in a world where opinions, judgments, and expectations constantly bombard us. This can be likened to a stormy sea, where the waves of others' thoughts can make it difficult to see our own path. To create a balanced perspective, we need to find calm within the storm. First, let's explore the concept of true self in Buddhism. The true self is the core of who we are, unshaped by societal pressures or external expectations. It's the essence that remains when all the noise fades away. To connect with this true self, we must practice mindfulness and self-reflection. Just as a gardener nurtures the soil to grow healthy plants, we need to cultivate our inner world to nourish our authentic self. Think of a tree standing tall amidst a forest. It grows not by mimicking other trees, but by embracing its unique nature. Similarly, finding balance involves accepting and honoring our individuality. When we try to fit into molds created by others, we lose sight of our true self. By understanding our unique strengths and weaknesses, we align ourselves with our genuine essence, fostering a balanced perspective. One practical way to align with your true self is through regular self-reflection. Set aside quiet time each day to check in with yourself. Ask questions like, "What are my values?" or "What brings me joy?" This practice helps you reconnect with your core and stay grounded, even when external forces try to sway you. In Buddhism, the concept of impermanence reminds us that all things, including external opinions, are transient. Just as clouds move across the sky, so do the judgments of others pass through our lives. Recognizing this impermanence helps us to not take things personally, allowing us to maintain our balance. Another important aspect is the practice of non-attachment. When we become overly attached to the approval or disapproval of others, we give them power over our emotional state. By practicing non-attachment, we learn to appreciate feedback without letting it dictate our sense of self-worth. This is like observing the weather without letting it affect our inner climate. Buddhist teachings also emphasize the importance of compassion, both for ourselves and others. When we are compassionate towards ourselves, we accept our imperfections and recognize our worth, regardless of external validation. This self-compassion creates a solid foundation for a balanced perspective, making it easier to stay aligned with our true self. Cultivating a balanced perspective also involves understanding the nature of our desires. Often, our desire for approval or fear of criticism drives us away from our authentic self. By examining these desires through meditation and self-inquiry, we can gain insight into what truly matters to us, beyond the influences of others. Engaging in activities that bring genuine joy and fulfillment can also help in maintaining balance. Whether it's a hobby, a creative pursuit, or spending time with loved ones, these activities connect us with our true self and reinforce our inner equilibrium. Finally, remember that balance is not a static state but a dynamic process. It requires ongoing effort and adjustment, just like balancing on a tightrope. By continually realigning with our true self and embracing the principles of mindfulness and non-attachment, we can navigate the challenges of life with grace and poise. As we move forward, let us carry with us the understanding that creating a balanced perspective is a journey, not a destination. Each step we take towards aligning with our true self brings us closer to inner peace and fulfillment. If this insight resonates with you, and you find value in exploring these concepts further, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Your support helps us continue to share these transformative teachings. Sustaining self-empowerment. Daily practices for personal growth. In the quiet moments of the day, the foundation of our inner strength is built. Imagine a garden. To keep it vibrant and flourishing, daily care is essential. Just as you nurture your garden, sustaining self-empowerment requires consistent effort and attention. Let's explore simple yet profound practices to help you maintain and grow your personal strength. Start each day with intention. As you wake up, take a moment to set a clear intention for the day. Think of it as planting a seed. Your intention might be to stay calm in challenging situations or to respond with kindness to others. By focusing your mind on this intention, you give yourself a guiding light for the day ahead. Practice mindful breathing. Throughout your day, pause for a few moments to focus on your breath. This simple act grounds you in the present and helps you detach from stressful thoughts. Mindful breathing is like a gentle breeze that clears away the dust from your mental landscape, leaving you refreshed and centered. Cultivate gratitude. Each day, reflect on what you're grateful for. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. It's a powerful practice that enhances your well-being and helps you appreciate the positive aspects of your life. Consider keeping a gratitude journal where you jot down a few things you're thankful for each day. Engage in compassionate self-talk. How you speak to yourself influences how you feel. Replace self-criticism with compassionate and encouraging words. Imagine you're your own best friend, offering support and understanding. This shift in self-talk fosters a positive self-image and reinforces your inner strength. Embrace impermanence. Remember that everything in life is constantly changing. By accepting the impermanence of situations, you reduce the power of external events over your inner state. Embracing this concept helps you stay grounded and resilient, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the ability to adapt and grow. Set healthy boundaries. It's essential to define and maintain personal boundaries. This means knowing when to say no and ensuring your needs are met. Setting boundaries protects your energy and ensures you're not overwhelmed by others' demands. Healthy boundaries create space for you to focus on your well-being. Practice regular meditation. Meditation is a tool for deepening self-awareness and maintaining inner peace. Even a few minutes of meditation each day can help you connect with your inner self, reduce stress, and cultivate clarity. Consider exploring different meditation techniques to find what resonates with you. Reflect on your actions. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on your actions and choices. Ask yourself if they aligned with your values and intentions. This reflection is like reviewing a map to ensure you're on the right path. It allows you to make adjustments and continue growing. Engage in physical activity. Physical activity is not just good for your body, it also benefits your mind. Exercise helps release endorphins, which are natural mood lifters. Whether it's a brisk walk, yoga, or any form of movement, regular physical activity supports overall well-being and mental clarity. Connect with like-minded individuals. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. Connecting with others who share your values and goals reinforces your sense of empowerment and provides encouragement. Positive social connections enhance your journey towards personal growth. Nourish your body and mind. Pay attention to what you consume, both physically and mentally. Choose nutritious foods that energize your body and engage in activities that stimulate your mind. A balanced diet and enriching experiences contribute to sustained self-empowerment. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small. Each step forward is a victory on your path to personal growth. Celebrating these moments boosts your motivation and reinforces your progress. In conclusion, sustaining self-empowerment is a continuous journey. By incorporating these daily practices into your life, you nurture your inner strength and maintain a balanced, fulfilling existence. Just as a gardener tends to their garden with care, tend to your personal growth with intention and mindfulness. Embrace each day as an opportunity to cultivate and sustain your self-empowerment, and watch as your inner strength blossoms and flourishes.